guys. In case you're wondering what's going on, I am too. Actually, I clicked the record button right now to go live, but I couldn't even get the last one to actually pull up. So there must be some settings, and every time I update my software, they change something, and they don't exactly tell you what they changed. They just say, "Hey, upgrade now and get all the new features." And of course, you have to stay updated, otherwise, if you miss an update, they'll charge you for it. So I can't do that. So that's why it's there. All right, now I'm going to go back here to my live channel and see if we're connected. And it looks like it is. Okay. All right. Well, looks like it's up finally. Not sure what was happening with Rabbi Shulman, but nope. Is it freezing again? Hey, I'm back, man. I don't know what's going on. I thought it was my internet, but it's not my internet. I don't know what's going on. So I'm just going to monitor this here. I figure if you guys want to call in, you can. We can just chat, say hi, or if you got a question, I'll try to answer it for you. But I'm going to let this thing run for about a half an hour and make sure it goes uninterrupted. If it does, then whatever happened with Rabbi Shulman a few minutes ago was just an anomaly because I didn't change anything. I just went back and edited the title. Nope, we tried to do him, but it kept airing out. Like 3 times we tried, and it canceled. But it would have been a fun show, too, because it was the only one we've ever done where it was actually a live call-in show. So he is going to do the same thing next week. Probably for the next 2 or 3 weeks, will be live call-in shows for Rabbi Shulman. But if you have any questions, call in now or put your questions here, and I'll answer them the best I can. That way we don't have any complete dead time. I've done this actually before, about 3 or 4 shows where it was just me talking. So this might work out. If not, we'll just push those difficult questions over to the rabbis for sure. Yeah, so I'm going to put the phone number up there at the top, 855-952-4253, and then I'll post that. Well, as soon as I figure out where it went. Come on, people. I need to buy another monitor. I'm using a big TV, and it doesn't communicate well with these computers. It's okay. I think I got that up there now. Where's the edge of the screen is here. And let's pin that comment. Okay, there we go. So there you go. So anyway, I'm just going to kind of do this recording and just let this thing run. Again, somebody's calling in. Let me catch this real fast. All right. You are live on the air. Can you hear me?
Hey, Wil'Liam, it's Brian.
Brian, welcome.
So I have a question, and because Christians, honestly, like whatever you throw at them, especially if they're not ready to actually like listen and change, they have like answers to everything, whether
Sure.
it makes sense or not.
Right.
But personally, for you, what is your go-to like topic or verses that absolutely like stumps a Christian at first, especially like if they really aren't well known in like scriptures? What would you go like to defend? Like,
one of my
no, that can't be.
One of my favorites is, and I actually have them written down in my. I've got a thing in my wallet that I refreshed back. One of them is in Amos. There's actually 2 big ones that I have, and I actually need my wallet for that because actually I don't remember what the verses are. I don't have them memorized. I should have them memorized by now. But yeah, you're right. Let me see if I can just look it up here. Hang on. I've heard a lot of popular ones, but one of the best ones that I've ever seen. Had to do with I think it was in Deuteronomy, maybe even in 6. But let me look it up real fast. Let me think how it was worded. It basically says that God, he says, I did not appear before you in the likeness of anything, male or female or animal or anything like this, because you would corrupt yourselves and actually worship these things. And so just that one verse alone, to me, completely proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that God would have never came and presented himself in the form of a human being, because he strictly said, I never did it before. Why would he do it again? So I don't remember where that is at. Guys, if you're on YouTube and you're watching this and you know what verse I'm talking about, please paste it here. I would really appreciate that.
Oh, yes. I think that's actually, it might be Deuteronomy chapter 4.
Oh, cool. Did you find a verse in particular based on that?
No, I can look it up now.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, personally, for me as well,
Okay,
very
I'm gonna look it up here as
talks
well.
about a lot.
Right, and then I'm also kind of curious what was. I'm gonna call my son next door and have him to bring me my wallet because that's where I've only got 2 or 3, but it's like, man, that's why you think I already have them committed to memory. But I'm so busy with all these shows and stuff all the time, I just don't have a lot of time. Let's see, Brandon. Let's see, where's my son's phone right here? Oh, I'll call Chris. That's it. Yeah, I get to call the wife. Yay! In the middle of a show, that's the first time. That's awesome. So yeah, this is a good point. I mean, I will put it this way. I've got a list I can pull up for sure, and this is something. In fact, you know what? I bet they're actually on that list on Facebook. Let me look that up real fast. Yeah, let me do that because I'll even try to share the screen. Hey, Chris, would you do me a favor? Will you have you or one of the kids bring me my wallet, please? It's next to my basket.
Next to your what basket?
The one.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. I'm
All
in the middle of a show, so okay. Thanks. Love you. Bye.
That's fine.
Okay. Cool. Nice. I just remembered. I've actually got a document I created on Facebook where this information is. If I can find it, it was on my personal one, I think. And that topic 613. Okay. Here's actually a really good one. Yeah. This is it right here. Okay. So. Deuteronomy 4, you're right. Deuteronomy 4, 12 through 16. So let me just look it up and see what it says precisely rather than trying to go off memory. And you can do the same if you want. Bible book list, here we go right there. Good recollection, by the way. Deuteronomy 4.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it says, and the Lord spoke.
Yeah.
And the Lord
Go ahead.
to you out of the midst of the fire, yet you did not hear a voice. Excuse me. I'm trying to read King James. I hate King James. You heard the voice of words, but saw no similitude, nothing similar at all. You only heard a voice, and he declared unto you this covenant. Okay, actually, this isn't the one, but there's another one. But that's still a good one, though. I'm going to find it here as well. I think it would be.
I think verse 15.
Oh, did I just stop too short? Okay.
Yeah, I believe that.
Okay, take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for you saw no manner of similitude on the day the Lord had spoken to you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest you, that's it right there, lest you corrupt yourselves and make a graven image, a similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, bam, the likeness of any beast that's on the earth, likeness of any winged. So that right there, just for me, that's a grand slam. That doesn't satisfy them, of course, because they'll say, they'll justify it one way or another, saying that God, changed his mind, or that was the old covenant, now this is the new covenant. But then when you show them the places where it shows that God is not a man that he should lie, or change his mind, whatever the case may be, they'll find some ways to justify that as well. So this list I'm looking at, thank you, Chris, love you. This list I'm looking at has got about 50 or so, all throughout the Tanakh. One of the ones that's one of my wife's favorite is actually in Psalms. And it's talking about, it says, do not put your trust in the in the Son of Man, or where there is no help. In princes or the Son of Man, where there is no help. And I think Jesus is referred to as the Son of Man in the New Testament so many times I can't even count, like 80 something times. He's considered, he's actually called the Son of Man. But Tanakh says, do not put your trust in the Son of Man or princes, for there is no help. Right. So those two are really good ones, I think.
Okay, wow. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, man. Good luck with it, man. Hey, if you're talking to them and they know that you're not Christian, and they want to talk to you, or however that works out, I always recommend people to set up some like conversation guidelines, like no doubling back. Once you cover something, don't go back and try to reapprove it again. After you've already, and that's what they do a lot. They'll cover one thing, and you'll disprove that, and you'll move on to point 2, point 3, point 4, and when not satisfied, they'll go back to the first point again and try to bring that up and revalidate that again. And it's such a waste of time. It's not just for you, but for them also. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, but just say, yes, sir. Have a good day, man. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Sorry, there was a couple of calls coming in, but I wanted to make sure I finished that up for this young man. So, again, thank you for your call. And so far, the stream is running pretty good. I'm still puzzled at why, and I'm using the same document and everything that I was using for Rabbi Shulman. Not sure why that did not go through. But I am going to keep this thing running here for you. For now, I'm going to look at the YouTube chat and see. Hey, Wally. Good to see you, boss. Let me see if I can clear this up. I can't actually see the screen very well. There it is right there. I'm assuming you can hear me now, right? Or is it just not loud enough? Good evening. Okay, so it looks like it's working there. Deuteronomy 24:16, Raymond, that's a good one. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna actually go there right now. I bet that's actually on my list. I'm pretty sure that I didn't leave any stone unturned on that list. One second. Deuteronomy 24:16. Oh, yeah, guys, I'm really sorry about that, man. It's just sometimes it just happens, man. Man, that's not even on my list. Raymond, I need to put that on there. Deuteronomy 24:16 is not on my list. Holy snappers. I'm going to do that now. All right, so how do I edit this? Actually, I'll do it later. I'm going to write it down because I want to keep it on the guys. Okay. Hey, no problem at all. I was glad you were able to call in. That was good. Okay, Raymond, you hear me fine. That's good. Awesome. Martha, good to see you. Ray, Roman, Roman Bradley, Martin. Oh boy. I'm not even tired, which is really wild. Usually I get like this whenever I'm tired, but I'm not really even tired right now. So glad we actually are holding a steady stream at least, though, because man, that had me puzzled. Got the idea that Almighty God came in the flesh and became a man. So Countess Eileen says, can you say where did Christians get the idea that the Almighty came down in the flesh and became a man? That was definitely, I think that definitely happened mid-Christian scriptures era. Not like it wasn't known to all. I mean, like for example, Paul never heard of a virgin birth. So there's a lot of inconsistency there. So when that started, don't know, but it's definitely taken from the Christianity side of things for sure, no doubt about it. And not just Christianity. I'm sure there's other religions that have that same idea, where there's a son of a god, Zeus and things like that. So the idea, it could have actually come from those ancient. What would you call those? The ancient heroes of old, or whatever you want to call them. So where'd my mouse go? Okay, cool. So anyway, there's that. I'm looking for questions here. By the way, the phone number is at the very top. It should be at the top at the pinned comments there. So if you guys want to call in, you can. I'm trying to watch it on the corner of my eye. Sometimes it alerts me. I think it probably does all the time. Maybe I'm just not. Maybe I'm just too distracted with all these different screens and things like that. So. Okay. By the way, when we're done with this video, I'm gonna take it down and delete it. I just really wanted to make sure we were going to be able to stream well. How do you respond to my Christian friends, family, who now call me the devil? Congratulations, by the way. That's actually a good claim, according to Christianity, anyway. I mean, for us, since I have abandoned the idea that Jesus is the Messiah. Okay, so it's really okay. If your family is approaching you and they're putting you on the spot to where you have to talk about it, the only thing you can really do is just to show them why you don't. And then if they just say you're blinded, you really can't really argue with somebody who's not open-minded. You can't show anybody something that's not open-minded. So really all you could do is just kind of deliver the package to your parents, and if they're willing to open it and read it and understand it, great. But if they're not, then there's really nothing you can do. You're just going to have to pray for them and just wait for an opportunity, and just speak when you feel like it's the right time, and just pray for wisdom. That's the best thing you can do. It's very unfortunate. I've actually, my parents, my biological father, many of you know, was a Messianic rabbi up until his passing, and Messianic preacher. Anyway, so he stopped communicating with me at all. Once he knew that I'd turned the New Testament over and just completely, I put it away for life, he wouldn't talk to me anymore. He tried to one time, but we got about 3 minutes in, and he realized that I had something to say in response, and he never wanted to challenge it again. So he just kind of kept to himself. And but then he never talked to me again either. So it's really sad. Okay, why is Rabbi Shulman not here? You apparently just tuned in. Na Nachman Banim. Sorry about that. We were having technical issues. We tried recording 3 different times, and it kept failing. So we rescheduled for next week, and I'm here now to do a test, but also I've been answering a couple Bible questions along the way. So that would be why. Sorry about the inconvenience for that. I apologize. Let's see. I thought I'm missing a comment here somewhere. Yeah, Sega. That's right. There you go. That's what I was trying to think of. Greek mythology. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here. Mr. Nim, do you have any tips to get through the holidays, Halloween, Christmas, now that you in general do not celebrate anymore? Christmas was my favorite holiday. Yes, you know what we did? It was easy for me to not deal with Christmas and Easter on year one at ground zero. But it was very very difficult for my wife. I mean, she really had a hard time with it, and so did the kids. Of course, my kids were still quite young, and we're talking. This is about 7.5 years ago, I think. Whenever around 7 years ago, when we completely pushed the entire idea of the Christian New Testament out of the way. Of course, we stopped celebrating Christmas before that when we were Messianic, but even still. The way we dealt with it was we waited till it was like that time of the year, and we just went and we hopped in the truck and we went to the coast and stayed in the middle of winter when there was like no one there, and stayed near the ocean. We just got a place just out in the blue, and we stayed for like 3 days over Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the next day, and it came home. And believe it or not, that was really good for the wife and kids, and that really helped them just kind of detach. Because really, I mean, once you break the cycle once, it's a lot easier to repeat that process. So yeah, so maybe go somewhere remote. Maybe find you a cabin somewhere, a rental somewhere. If it's just you, it'll be easier. If you've got family, then yeah, just definitely take them with you, and just use that time focused on not focusing on Christmas, and putting it on Hashem and study, or even. And I hate to compare Hanukkah with Christmas, because that's the history of Hanukkah was never the way it is now. I'm thinking that the reason why Hanukkah now, there's gifts exchange and things like that. Maybe somebody thought it was a good way to help people coming out of Christianity. I'm not really sure how that started, but when we do Hanukkah now, we still do it with the gifts and things like that. But of course now we're completely disconnected from it, so it's not an issue for us anymore. So. Okay, look, oh, by the way, please, if you have a question, tag Tanakh Talk, because otherwise I'm going to have to read every single comment. And if you tag Tanakh Talk, I'll know you want that addressed to me, and I can just spot it like instantly, right? Morality. Okay, I don't know how to say your last name, Books. Coke Books, I guess it is. Is the Torah considered absolute morality? If so, then did Adam and Eve learn Torah by eating of the fruit? There's so much, and I know people hate this word, but there's so much Kabbalistic teaching on this that helps bring things to light. A lot of it I don't remember, but I know that I had questions in the beginning on a lot of this stuff. And one thing that even still kind of confuses me a little bit was, the Tanakh says that to know what the right thing to do is, and then to violate that. That's what sin is. So if that's true, then, and I'm putting this out there not as this is the fact, I'm telling you this in a question form and let you decide for yourself. So if it's true that sinning, oh, there's a phone call. Hang on, let me catch it. Oh, got it. Okay, caller, sit tight. I'll be right with you, okay? So if sin indeed is knowing good and not doing it, then was the Adam and Eve situation with the tree, was that actually sin? Because I mean, they've never experienced, that was the first time that a sin had occurred, so to speak, but they had no context of sin or separation from God or discipline, because they were like robots. They're programmed, or like programs that just did what they were told. And so that's something that still confuses me even today. Not that really matters, because now we do know what sin is. Now we do have context, and we do have the Torah. But as far as being morality, definition of how to be a good moral person, absolutely for sure. Did they learn Torah by eating of the fruit? There is so much of that I am in the gray on, because even after hearing so many explanations of it, that still doesn't make sense to me. And maybe I just need to slow down and dive a little deeper on that specific topic. So that might be something good to forward to Rabbi Singer or one of the other rabbis. So I'm going to take this caller. Welcome to the show. You're live on the air. Caller, you with me? All right, there's a 10-second delay from the time you see or hear me on the TV or on the computer till the time it actually happens.
Hey, Will, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Hello?
Yep, you're live on the air. What's up?
Yes.
Okay, do me a favor. You're going to have to listen to me on your phone, not the computer, because there's a 10-second delay.
Okay.
And if you would go and make sure you turn your computer down so it won't give any feedback, okay?
Got it.
Okay, cool. Okay, so what's your question?
Shalom. How you doing, William?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Nice. My question was regarding to if you were discussing with maybe a Muslim. Well, in your opinion, what would be a great way to share the light of the Torah without, like trying to be as respectful as possible?
Right, I understand your question. The best person that I could even think of to answer that question would be Rabbi Singer, because for a long time he was the rabbi there in Jakarta, Indonesia, which is one of the largest Muslim countries in the world, and he dealt with them on a daily basis. And so many of them understood Torah already, and they, of course, they had their other writings as well. But I really have no clue how to answer that question at all. But I think it's a great one. It would be probably a really good question for you if you could call back in whenever we're not live, and then leave that question in a voicemail. Very simple. Pardon me. A very simple question, like you just delivered it to me, in a voice message with your name and where you're from. And I'm pretty sure Rabbi Singer would like to address that.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, man. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Shalom. Shalom. Bye. Okay. Okay, I see some tags up here. Let me see if I can scroll through them. I don't want to miss anybody, though. Okay, so there's that. And where else we got? Joe, thank you, buddy. Joe Mova, I got to tell you, you know what? I'm fixing to do something here. You may not like this, but I'm going to add you as a moderator. Because you'll have more access to what's going on here too. So I've got this new friend, Joe Mova here. He's on YouTube chat and is just an amazing, genius guy. Well, I really appreciate that, man. You really helped out a lot. So anyway, I just made you a moderator here on YouTube. So you can always undo that if you want, but he's a good guy. All right, here we go. So our Enoch the Witness, I think Adam and Eve. Yeah, okay, so that's more of a statement. Oh, actually, I want to see that though. We said. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. All right, let's see. According to Rabbi Stuart, the forbidden fruit was supposed to grow them up or mature them. Do you agree with that? I'm open-minded about it. I don't know what the right answer is. I know there's a lot of things I've heard, and a lot of them are very plausible. One of the most intriguing ones that I heard, believe it or not, was from my dad whenever he was a Messianic Christian. And he said that it was a way to trigger them, because before the tree, before the temptation, before the stuff like this, they were just robots. I mean, they were programmed to do what they do. They weren't even capable of sinning. It just wasn't even capable of it until Hashem put the tree and told them, "Don't touch this." It's like it would be kind of like me setting a bowl of ice cream in. Or better yet, I've seen videos on this. It's kind of cute. They set this little hamburger on a plate, and there's two dogs sitting there, but they're showing how obedient the dogs are. And they would say no, and after they were gone for long enough, they would eventually give in and eat it, right? So, but the point being would be that Hashem could have put it there for the purpose of creating moral choice, right? Free moral choice instead of being programmed to do what we're just programmed to do. And so that was basically setting the ball in motion, and that's how it all came to pass. So that's one of the explanations, and actually it makes a little sense, Not saying it's right, but that's kind of what I hear. Okay, this thing keeps scrolling automatically. I got to keep scrolling back up to see what they are. Let's see. See, it just did it again. Quit. Stop. Okay, here we go. Okay, wisdom is knowing good and evil, so eating that tree is not unwise. It's likely a parable of our fall from God's paradise, not a little. That's interesting. See, that's another one I haven't heard of either. That's good. Okay, Yelzar, thank you so much. You're amazing. Appreciate that. Okay, Ahmed Abdi. I'm hoping I'm saying these names right. I'm going to get to you in just a minute. We got to take this caller. Caller, you're live on the air. Please tell me your name. Where are you calling from? Caller, you're live on the air.
Hello.
Yes, you're live on the air. You'll want to talk to me through your phone, not your TV, because there's a 10-second delay, okay? Oh, he hung up. He must not have been able to hear me. Interesting. Okay. All right, moving back up. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. There it is. Ahmed, again, please, if I'm mispronouncing your name, please forgive me. Ahmed Abdi. By the way, alaikum salam. Could you give me the perspective of the rabbis? Does he think Paul was deceived? If not, what was his motive? Man, we've got so many videos. I mean, right now I think the channel is approaching 1,000 videos. We got like a 930 or something like that, 925. And there's so many of them on Paul, and there's so many, like dozens and dozens and dozens of different perspectives on Paul from all these people. It's really quite amazing. Deceptive, or just fooled, misinformed. Some say he was a disciple of Gamaliel, and that's been argued over and over again because of some of his terminology. So he could be like a self-appointed rabbi, whatever the case may be, thinking he knows, and kind of like a lot of the Messianics are these days. That could be the case. I've also seen and heard the possibility that he was planted by the Jewish people for the purpose of leading the Christians away from Judaism. Which, I mean, some of it sounds silly, but some of it, if you listen to the entire story, it could make sense. It's plausible, I mean, I like to tell people I wasn't there, I don't know, but you can sure speculate, right? I will tell you there's a really interesting show that I saw called Caesar's Messiah. I don't think it talked about Paul, but the way that they spun who Jesus was and who created Jesus, you could kind of fit Paul into that same category. So something to think about. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, stop scrolling. Okay, ready to go. Yeah, Joe, thank you for bringing that up. He said everybody in chat, memberships will be available soon. This is true. Joe's the one who helped me set everything up. It's really quite nice. Would be good if people can be a member and support and help William and Tanakh Talk continue his work. Thank you. Very kind of you. I appreciate that. Let's see. You have to witness. Shalom, my friend. All right, here we go, Mr. Name. What is the Christian point of view on why the demons asked to be put into the pigs? I'll give you my perspective in a second. Do you know? I'm just so curious because I was thinking about it the other day. Okay, so here's the thing. One thing that I don't have on my show yet is, and I haven't even talked. Actually, I talked to him about it about 2 years ago, but we lost contact. We just talked recently, so we're back in communication again. But I'm going to start a show. Regarding how everything we do so far is what the Torah and how Torah and Christianity, or Tanakh and Christianity, conflict. But we rarely get into how does Tanakh conflict with Messianic Christians, Messianic Jews as they call themselves. And I was Messianic for many years, and that's where this question is fixing to lead, by the way. And so I'm going to try to get this arranged to where we're going to have an open call on the show answering questions regarding the Messianic movement, because a lot of the rabbis have never experienced the Messianic movements that are actually in the United States. They're used to what's going on in Israel, but they're not really. They don't really deal with Messianics a lot. They deal mostly with Christians when it comes to missionaries, and I've had a lot of experience with that myself. So we're going to probably tag team this thing. So. In my opinion, the Messianics' understanding of the New Testament makes more sense to me than the Christians' understanding of the New Testament. Okay, now I understand that the Messianic movement wasn't even around, except for the past couple hundred years or whatever. That's what I've heard anyway. So, but point is, the whole point about the pigs. Why did the demons why did they want to go into the pigs? And the simplest answer I can say is that you put food in a refrigerator, you put trash in a trash can, right? And you would never put food in a trash if it's good food, and you would never put trash in the refrigerator. Everything's got its proper place. Well, if the demons felt comfortable in the pigs, that's the only place they felt safe, right? Which would make more sense also throughout the New Testament, where anywhere where it talks about food or meat, anything, I mean, I can't think of one single place in the New Testament, and there's quite a few of them that discuss food and eating, and Christians will justify eating pork and eating all those other things, but the other interpretation or understanding of what those verses actually say doesn't say that at all. They're very much against it. Paul did teach Torah, but there's also places it looks like he either slipped up or was misinformed, or maybe he didn't write it, or maybe he did and he was trying to explain something from a different perspective. I don't know, but most of the Christian New Testament, everything, even for like Matthew 5:17, and all these ones that do not think that I came to destroy the law. I mean, Jesus said that himself. And so if he didn't come to destroy the law, then why then after he died did they destroy the law? So, I mean, it's all over the place. There's probably several hundred verses in the New Testament. I don't like calling them verses, but that's what they are. In the New Testament that show that the law was never intended to be done away with. 1 Corinthians 5:8, talks about keeping of the feast, and of course nothing in Christianity knows anything about keeping the feast of the Lord at all. So anyway, so going back to that, why did the demons want to go in the pigs? To me, it was very simple. That's the one place they felt comfortable. And if that's the case, then why we have not eaten pork in so many years. I can't even tell you why. And that's part of the reason why. I just don't see it. Even with the Noahide laws, I've been told that it's okay for you to eat it. But if you look at the story of Noah, when it says, I don't remember what chapter and verse it's in, but whenever he's talking about, I have given all of these things to you for food, just as the green herbs, right? Well, a herb is described as anything that's a seed-bearing plant, right? And so, just like seed-bearing plants, or whatever the case may be, have rules, or even not just seed bearing, but just any kind of plant at all. Noah knew don't eat poison ivy, right? You can eat a tomato plant, whatever the case may be, but he knew there's certain things you can't eat. So when God told Noah, everything on this, all these 4 foot, or whatever the case may be, however it's worded, I've given all these to you for food, just like I gave you the herb. Why did he say just like the herb if there was no rules associated with all the animals? There was a reason for saying that, and the reason was, in my opinion, still today, is that was why, because there was rules associated with eating all of these things. So that's kind of my perspective on that. It's more the New Testament is more messianic in proper thought than Christian, but yeah. Anyway, that's that. I hope I answered that question for you. All right, scrolling on down. Let's see. Christian Septuagint. Okay, here we go. Why don't Christians use the Septuagint mainly? Yes, exactly. The quotes in the New Testament match up with Septuagint. Okay, so here's the thing. The original Septuagint, right? The LXX. Okay, the original one, where that was mysteriously translated by 72 rabbis or 70 rabbis. The original one. It wasn't the entire Tanakh. It was only the first 5 books of Moses. Later on, when they extended it and redid the Septuagint, including the books from Tanakh, which would be the prophets and the writings, those were done by various authors, and there was nothing proven by that at all. It was only the first 5 books. The things that they use, the ones who know of a Septuagint, the concept of it, will use the Septuagint, not the early one, but the latter one, and use that to try to prove their point, not realizing that wasn't the original version, and it wasn't the entire Tanakh. It was only the last part. So let's see. Okay, so that would be information for you, Coke, that the New Testament matches up with the Septuagint, only the latter version of it, not the early version. So okay, I was kind of forced into the Episcopal Church. By the way, if you've called in and I didn't answer, it's because this thing is not ringing. I turn on the desktop notifications, and it seems to only ring whenever I've got somebody on hold, or when I'm actually got somebody on the phone. I'll have to find out what that is. So, and I can't move any further over in my point of view, unfortunately. So I'll try to get that fixed. See, I was just confused because. Okay, let's see here. There we go. I'm scrolling on down now, Wally. Oh yeah, right. That's very true. Very true. Okay. All right. I'll go. Okay, so I don't see any questions and no call-ins right now, and we've been going now for 35 minutes. Okay, cool. All right. So unless there's any more questions or calls, I can wait for a few minutes in case there's a delay or whatever. So if I see, hey Julie, hope you're feeling better, girl. Julie, I just added Joe Mova as an admin. He has done some tremendous work with my YouTube channel today, and I really appreciate that. And he's a really good friend, tech savvy too. So he's going to come in handy. So if you need to reach out to him for any reason, he's there for you. He's in chat with us right now. Okay, the suicide of a man I respected. I want to know. I'm reading this. Oh wow, that's wild. Yeah, and in theory, I say theory because I've only asked one or two rabbis, and there were conditions met on both. But the consensus is that even if you're a Noahide or a Ben Noach or someone, you're a righteous Gentile, and you've come to the knowledge of one God, you should never set foot in a church again, like ever. You shouldn't even be inside there. So, like for example, if you've got a funeral coming up, to family member, then don't go to the church service, but go to the burial. That's fine, but you can't be inside a church. So it's kind of sticky. First time we went into in a funeral, I didn't know all this stuff. I just know that when I was there, I was very uncomfortable. And so whenever they were standing up to do the things, we just stayed seated. And they were standing up praying, and everybody bowed and said amen. And we would just kind of like sit there in a very back row, just never standing up at all. We just kind of stayed put just to show our respect for that. But man, I'll tell you what, that was not a comfortable day at all. So, okay, here we go. Enoch the Witness. Man, I have no idea. Enoch the Witness, the Isaiah prophecies say people in a new world will have... Oh, we're scrolled again. Will have longer lifespans, but do some also go to a greater paradise and be immortal? That I don't know. There's not much talked about in the world to come, in Olam Haba, because the idea of Judaism is fix the now, and the idea of Christianity is wait, this is the later. It's what happens, that's their whole focus, is going to heaven. And, of course, in Judaism, it's just not that way. So there's not a whole lot of information on that except for maybe in the Midrash. Okay, so where are we at? Wow, cool. Enoch the Witness stopped going to church 15 years ago. Like every church is apostate, right? Wendy Player, hey girl. Okay, cool. All right, very good. My pleasure for sure. Sonia, hello. Is it true you are converting to Judaism? If so, Baruch Hashem. No, it's not. It was for a long time, but we have since resigned that thought. We're my understanding of it's a really deep. There's a lot of things involved with that. Number one, it's important for everybody to know that not just me, but for everybody to know is that if you weren't born a Jew, you don't have to become Jew to be fully upright with Hashem and have all the blessings He has designed for you anyway. You converting to Judaism, it's not for God that you're doing it, it's for you that you're doing it. If you need to feel more connected, go for it. If you feel like you're driven, you have to, then go for it. But there's no need for it, right? And so if I had two of me, if we were twins, and one of them decided to convert and the other one didn't, by the time all this stuff is going through, there's no upper level for either one of them in that sense of things. Now, I'm not saying that okay, let me clarify that. Okay, everybody knows that the Jewish people are God's people for sure, but the point is, you don't have to convert to Judaism to make God happy. That's the point. And if you do, that's number one. You could. I mean, anybody wants to please their father. I mean, my son does special things for me he doesn't even want to do to make me happy. And of course it does, but it's not a requirement. That's the point, So, okay, Enoch the Witness, no, it wasn't talking to me. Okay, cool, moving on. Going back to Nanakman, yes, absolutely. This is his time slot. I just didn't want to not have a show because his got canceled. So I just kind of using this as a filler to test the internet. So next week, same time, same place, Rabbi Moshe Shulman will certainly be here, and it will actually be a call-in show. So you'll like that. It'll be one where you can actually call in and speak with him and ask questions. So there. Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped the gun. I thought you were asking about Shulman. Blumenthal. I'm hoping so. We had it set up at one point. Caller, I'll be right with you. We had it set up with Blumenthal for at one point in time, but we couldn't get our dates to match. And then the time, there was a lot of things going on with his accessibility to the internet and computers at the time, and so that's definitely in the scope of the future. So I'm hoping that happens. All right. So caller, welcome live. I'm sorry, welcome. You're live on the air.
You talking to me?
I am talking to you. You're live on the air. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Brother, I have a question for the Jewish people.
Okay.
Because I believe in the New Testament.
Okay.
You know?
Sure.
So the question for me to the Jewish people is why they allow Rome to include the New Testament writings together with the Old Testament, making it look like it's one book.
That is a great question,
book.
and you can stay on the phone for this answer.
Because the Jewish people is being around for the longest time, for the last 2,000 years.
Yes, sir.
And they are the authority to allow the writings, how to be, or
actually,
how,
Actually, the way that works is they have the authority. Go ahead and hang up now. I'm going to answer this other call, and I'll answer your question right now, okay? So just go ahead and tune right in for the answer, okay? All right, caller, sit tight. I'm going to answer this question. I'll be right with you. Okay, so here's the thing. The Jews don't have the authority globally to keep people from, you could have a new religion come up and take the Tanakh, what Christians call the Old Testament, and put it with the Book of Hindu, and they could stitch it together, and they could create a whole new religion. And the Jews don't have authority over that. Anybody can do what they want to that. Okay, so the Christians are the ones responsible for basically hijacking the Old Testament and attaching their New Testament to it and trying to make their New Testament work. That's the only way they were able to do it. So that's the short answer. And there's a lot of history behind this whole thing about when and how it was written, when it was approved, who it was approved by. It definitely was not approved by any Jew at all. If you find a Bible on the planet that has a New Testament attached to it, that is not a Jewish book. It's got Jewish writings in it, translations of it, but it's not a Jewish book altogether. You got to remember that. So anyway, that's a great question. All right, caller, you're live on the air.
Hello?
Hi, you're live on the air.
Oh, I just want to ask you something.
Certainly, go ahead.
Why do you think Hitler is bad?
Whoa. You know what? Actually, that's if you'd asked me that a year ago.
It's not a trick question.
No, I know it's not.
Not a troll question.
No, I hear you though.
Although I do love Hitler, but I just want to know why.
Okay, I gotcha. Thanks, man. Okay, that's an interesting question, man. A year ago, I would have had an absolute hardcore grand slam answer for that, but I don't know how to answer that. Rabbi Singer did it the best, and he has the best answers for most everything anyway. But the general consensus is, Hitler is responsible for the death of so many Jewish people. Almost genocide, and so that's the short answer. Now, you may have arguments to that. I'm not really sure. I just know that's the short answer. I don't feel qualified to answer that in a format that I think would please you. So maybe you could call back into the show when we're not live and leave that voice message, and just leave us your name, where you're calling from, and leave that message, and I will certainly see if I can get Rabbi Singer to address that for you. Okay? So anyway, there you go. Okay, let's see. Another caller. Caller, you live on the air. Welcome. Hello. 10 seconds.
Hello?
Yeah, there's a 10-second delay.
Okay.
So you want to talk to me using your phone and not the computer, okay? All right, you're still live on the air. Go ahead. Can you hear me now? Hello? You are live on the air. Okay, well, we'll call that off. All right, well, guys, That may be. I'm going to go ahead and turn the phone calls off now because I'm going to try to answer a few of the questions in the chat box. And so there we go. Let me see. Show. Okay, scrolling. I don't see a lot of questions following that, so I'm probably going to go ahead and call this here in just a moment. We definitely have accomplished the goal I was looking for, and that was to create a steady stream that was unbroken. And so now I've got to do some research to find out why Rabbi Shulman's stream got interrupted 3 different times, but this one was successful. I'm not really sure. I'll have to look into that. So very good, man. Okay, so guys, I appreciate it. You have to witness. Oh, huh. That's funny. Enoch, you're crazy. All right. Well, a question about the Old New Testament. Good deal. Okay. All right, here we go. Last question. Do you believe Mashiach is coming soon? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of thought that we are potentially approaching or in the beginning phases of the Messianic era. So I would say it's highly possible, there's so many Jewish people returning to the land. I mean, there's signs that this is the beginning of maybe even in the middle of the Messianic era. I'm not really sure. And there's some interesting teachings on how many thousands of years the whole process from start to finish would be. If it's a day is like 1,000 years, right? So 7 days a week, 7,000 years. So there's a lot of interesting conversation about that as well. So. But guys, yeah, I think that's going to be it for now. So I appreciate it. You guys have a great night, and sorry for not getting Rabbi Shulman up, and also Skobac. That thing just completely crashed. So 2 shows in a row. But I figured out what was going on. The issue I had with Rabbi Skobac is now completely resolved. But then I triggered another one with Shulman. So now I've got to find that one out. Once that's done, then we should be good to go. Tomorrow we'll have some shows up for you. I think the first one is going to be. I need to check now because Women's World is usually live in the morning, but I think we're going to hold off for a little while because I know Julie, she's watching right now, bless her heart. She's been having some medical issues, and so is her husband. And so we're going to take a few weeks break on that. And so the first show, I believe, is going to be at 1 p.m., and then I'll have possibly a 3 p.m. with Rabbi Skobac, the one I just missed today. We're going to try. I'm waiting for a message back from him to let me know whether he's going to be able to make it or not. If he is, then we'll actually do Rabbi Skobac's show tomorrow at 3 p.m. And then we'll have the one after that will be 7 p.m. with Rabbi Stuart Federow. So, all right, guys. Well, you guys have a good one. Let's see. Can you please do timestamps for Tovia shows? Yes, I can. It takes a long time to do that, and I don't have that much time. But I'm going to start fitting it in somehow. If there's somebody out there, in fact, you could also help me with this, Mr. Nape, if you're interested. If anybody out there watches any of the shows and they watch the whole entire show, and you hear a new topic begin, if you'll write down the timestamp marker, it's like a 6-digit number or 4 digits, whatever. It's usually 2 numbers and then a colon, 2 numbers, colon, 2 numbers for hours, minutes, and seconds. If you'll write those numbers down and then the topic, I can copy and paste that into YouTube, and that will automatically create the links that you want, the hyperlinks that take you straight to the questions, like at any point in the video, so you don't have to look for them. So if anybody want to volunteer and do that, and tell me what video you did it on, and just send it to me on Tanakh Talk Questions. No, I'm sorry, Tanakh Talk at Gmail, and I'll copy that and give you a shout out, and I'll paste that into the YouTube video, so that way that'll be there. Okay. So, but that's definitely a great idea. Great idea. Let's see. Okay, Tovia show. Can you please do? Yep. Okay, got that. Great. Thanks. Okay, very good. All right. Let's see. I saw a question I was reading and it jumped on me again. 1 second, and then we're going to close this baby out. Nope, I think that's covered everything. Okay, awesome. Very good. Oh, and thank you, Jen Michelle. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think I may have gotten resolved now because the last technical issue I had actually interfered with this show. And so just before I did this one, I tried 3 times I tried to record Rabbi Shulman, and it kept kicking me off. And so after I hung up with him, I kind of made some tweaks and made a few adjustments and did this test stream, and it actually succeeded. So it looks like we've got it all figured out. So tomorrow should go uninterrupted, hopefully. So that's pretty much that, guys. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and we will see you guys same time, same place a little bit later. Take care. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.